Have you lost weight only to gain it right back after returning to your routine? Did your diet work for someone else but not you? Rockin' That ID Life helps you understand your genetic makeup to find a lifestyle that fits your needs. Together, you and RockinThatIDLife.com can focus on your health and meet your goals today. That's RockinThatIDLife.com.
Center Ice Brewery is a proud sponsor of Let's Go Blues Radio. If you haven't heard, Center Ice Brewery beer is now exclusively available at beer stores around town, so make sure you pick some up on your next Milk and Eggs run. That's Center Ice Brewery. Please drink responsibly. Welcome to Season 10, Episode 31. This is Episode 349 all-time of Let's Go Blues Radio, where the often imitated, never duplicated, break us off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast. Special thanks to RockinThatIDLife.com and CenterIceBrewery.com for proudly sponsoring the show. Please check them out. It is Wednesday, April 13th. We're broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook. To interact with the show, we are on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just do a search for us. You will find us. I'm Kurt Price. I'm my co-host for tonight's Big Show, or Bill Day, and Jeff Ponder. In tonight's big show, we will discuss the big win over the Boston Bruins, the return of Torey Krug, the 6-game win streak, our battle with Minnesota for second place in the Central Division. Tyson Nash says stupid things on the air, then doubles down, triples down on them, and all that and more on this week's episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. Guys, have you dodged any tornadoes today with the weather?
You know, we were supposed to get some real bad weather here in South County. We just had some lightning, some thunder, enough to freak my dog out, and he had to lay by my side in the basement all night or all day. Yeah, that's all we really got. We never got anything too scary. The alarms never went off. I think it went mostly south of us. How about you guys?
Yeah, I just saw it went south. We didn't get too much in Troy. We got some rain, got some thunder. A lot of rain just all day. Nothing. I don't think it was really heavy, was it, Bill? It was just kind of.
No, the rain. The rain's been crazy. I mean, mine even though the last 4 or 5 days my sump pump hasn't stopped when it was dry because we were so saturated from before. But yeah, it was just thunder. Little. I didn't even see any lightning, but. Yeah, I could hear rain. It was one of those days of working from home, window open. I'm having to just, mainline coffee to stay awake because it was just so relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it was good though. Cause I think
that's why I do cocaine every day. Really helps out.
Yeah, you got some on here right there. Little residue, right?
All right.
A number of St. Louis schools called off today for the weather and prep for the weather.
That's
some
crazy.
people kept their kids home. Our school sent out a notification late last night saying that keep an eye on the weather. We may release early or hold the kids here until the weather passes if it's right when they're supposed to get out. But that never happened.
Yeah, that's what we got too. We got that notification last night that was like, we may hold your kids because apparently the worst is coming, like right when your kids are should be getting on the bus. So,
right.
But yeah, I mean, none of that happened today for anyone in my area.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Is that schools just going with a generalized weather plan damn the seasons, or is it our school districts actually starting to prepare for the worsening weather of global warming?
It's the first time I remember. I don't think I ever saw this in school where we were talking about sending us home early due to bad thunderstorms or tornadic activity. It was if a tornado was going to come or bad weather was coming, it was hunker down in the hallway, right? So
oh yeah,
right,
yeah,
because that was always helpful.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just yeah. Well, and I think when I was a kid, we would have nuclear drills still. In our, I think we get duck and cover right under the desk in the hall. Put your head down over your head. Put your hands over your head.
Right. Just like when the lava was erupting from the volcano that mysteriously showed up next door. First season of South Park.
Duck and
cover.
Duck
God,
and
that's right. Yes. No, I think we had the same thing, but at that point we were just calling them earthquake drills because it's the same thing.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Right.
that's what the guys for ours was.
I'm turning ESPN on here. I did not check the schedule. Are you guys watching the game right now?
Yeah,
yes, it is 4-1 Colorado.
Is that
what
the
I'm
only?
watching.
That's not the only game, right? I got that. I don't want to watch that game.
There's one more. There's one more.
That game is done.
Yeah, well,
isn't there?
Yeah, there's more games. There should be. There was one game on Monday, and there was about 18 last night.
on Tuesday.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now there's
Yeah,
a
Montreal. Yeah, Montreal played earlier. Lost to.
This is the only game.
Columbus.
the only game right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, this is the only game.
Okay.
Yep. TNT wants that exclusivity.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah. Well, LA did just score, so it's when we were first getting in the green room, I was going to ask you guys over under Colorado 12 goals tonight, but they've slowed down a little.
Well, I'll put that game on. Fine. The official beers of episode number 349. It's 349. Next week is 350. It's a nice, solid, arbitrarily round number, right?
Damn! Now I got to make another video. No, I'm not. I'll lead us.
Well, you can follow each of us on the. Let me do the spiel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I did stop. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. My handle is at cprice12. Jeff says jponder94. Bill says Billy Bruno 33. Jeff, go ahead, sir.
Well, tonight, friends, I am drinking something that I enjoyed a few of when we hung out on Friday. Citywide by our friends at Four Hands Brewery. It's a good American pale ale. Apparently, it pairs well with toasted ravioli and pork steak. I'm thinking that's kind of a St. Louis reference joke, but it's probably true.
What I had there that I love, the first time I had it, and I think it's fairly new, the Vigilante lager.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Good. The Mexican style lager.
What was that thing you and I had, Bill? That was like 18%.
Oh, I had one of those.
Yeah, it was the mixture of the 222 and the strange stout. It was donuts meets coffee.
Yeah,
it was
so good.
Great.
Oh, that's a hook. Yeah, that was. It was good.
I literally sipped on that for over an entire period. It was like it took me a good 45 minutes to get through one of those because it was powerful.
I was expecting a lot of coffee flavor, but it didn't have a lot. It's actually quite pleasant. I'm not really big on the heavy coffee flavored beers, but and with coffee being in the name of it, or it was mixed with the coffee, I figured I was going to have coffee. No, it wasn't bad at all for me.
Before we get to Bill's beer of the episode, Winning Unlimited says that his beer of the show is the Schnickelfritz Bots.
Schnickelfritz Bots.
I
What's Bots?
don't know if I've had that. I don't know.
I've had Schnickelfritz.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's saying Schnickelfritz Bots
beer of the
show. Oh God, that took me a lot. I was like, what the hell? There's a variant of Schnickelfritz now? Okay, that makes way more sense.
There is a variant of Schnickelfritz called Lil Fritz. Lil Lil Fritz.
I thought that was a rapper.
It probably is.
It's a German rapper.
I picked some of that up last year. It's a good lighter summer version of Schnickelfritz.
Okay.
So
I'm not a Schnickelfritz guy. Not for me. Had it before. It's just not my thing.
I like it.
That,
I can't drink.
Kurt hates you. Kurt hates you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I do enjoy a Schnickelfritz once or twice in a night. I can't go more than that. If I got drunk off it, I'd be sick the next day.
The max for you is 2 Schnickelfritz in one night, so you got to switch it up. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it is that heavy Bavarian. The different hops and the different malts in it. I enjoy one every year on Fritz's birthday in his honor. And yeah,
Do you
apart from that,
do you like the Hofbrauhaus beer? The St. Louis Hofbrauhaus is actually in Belleville.
Mm.
I've
Do you
never
like their
been
beer?
there.
You like their beer?
Yeah,
as well?
I love their box. Go there and have box. Just quick story before I get to my beer. But the couple years ago, 4 years ago now, I guess, we went there as a family. My grandmother lived at the shrine, the apartment complexes, or I guess at that point she was in the assisted living facility across the street from Hofbrauhaus is Our Lady of the Snows shrine, and they have living arrangements for older folk, and my grandma was living there, and we all got together and went there, and we had an awesome time. It was perfect May night, like mid 60s, clear skies, great food, great beer, and my grandma is sitting there with a giant, one of the giant mugs of beer, and singing along to the oompa band that was on, and just great night. And it turned out to be the last memory I had, because a week and a half later my grandma passed. So that is I will always have a special place in my heart for the Hofbrauhaus because of that. But yeah, it's hard to go wrong. Go there, get a nice piece of schnitzel, a couple of huge beers.
I like
It's
their
a great
pretzels.
night.
Their pretzels are good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. The big
I need to hit
pretzels.
this place up. You guys aren't the only ones I've heard who talk about this place. So.
Their beer, they don't have a good beer selection. There's half a dozen, 7 beers maybe, something like that.
Right.
But it's all they make all. They don't have other brewery beers there.
But
So,
and they,
it's all German.
You get it right. You get it in either a 16 or a 32 ounce mug. So, and if you get the 16, you're doing it wrong.
And it's literally a beer hall. It's just a big open room with big long tables, and
sounds like Valhalla.
It's worth going to check it out. Yeah, the place is impressive on the outside too. So
I should add before we get to Bill, I am also rocking that ID Life tonight. So I've had a very long day. Yeah, I had a very long day, and I thought, I'm gonna get some energy going here, and that way I can make sure to still be awake by the end of the show.
All right. Bill.
My beer tonight is wrong way every time.
Every time.
The
Madagascar. Nice.
Madagascar triple chocolate from our friends at Four Hands. I was inspired by being there, and so I had this in the beer fridge. I'm like, I'm gonna drink it. It's great in theory, but this one's flat. So I'm a little disappointed.
Literally flat, or
literally flat.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
I'm a little disappointed, but still tons of chocolate in this bad boy.
I was gonna say that I'm a big fan of the chocolatey beers, and a lot of times you get a chocolatey beer, and it's like, it's not quite chocolate enough. But
no, the chocolate comes through the flatness, so it's
okay,
a lot of chocolate.
All
but yeah, I'll try to find another one, and hopefully not have this whole flatness thing going on.
My beer is a beer I had that probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, something like that. The Sam Adams Cold Snap White Ale. See, I don't have a problem with turning it. It's that glare. It's on mine.
Yeah, I deal with the glare too. But no, that's a good beer. Love that beer.
Yeah,
that's. I think I said this last time you had it. That's one of the few beers of Sam Adams where I'll see it on tap, and I'll get that over pretty much anything else on tap when I see it, because it's a solid beer.
Yeah, I think we had this exact same conversation, because then I followed it up with saying, I like their summer ale or their Oktoberfest. So.
And I believe I said I like those too. I just don't get them on tap over everything else like I do Cold Snap.
I like the 312 is my new go-to lemon summer beer.
Have you seen their shandy pack?
I've had the lemonade shandy. I haven't had the others.
Yeah. So they have two. They have the regular lemonade, and then they have a grapefruit lemonade, and I forget, maybe a cherry lemonade shandy that I saw. I think it was probably Total Wine.
I have to pick that up. Yeah. I was after Amy and I played in a pickleball tournament Well, yeah, tournament. And this was this was what, 2 weekends ago? And afterwards, there was a social event at the KFC Hall.
Yeah.
Knights of Columbus.
You went to the KFC.
Went to the KFC. Yeah, because the Popeyes was closed.
Yeah.
But and so we go in there, and they had a few beers on tap, and one was 312. I'm like, oh, we got 312 on tap. And okay, great. And it being a Knights of Columbus, it was like $250 or $275 for a 16 ounce or whatever it was. And I'm like,
Wow.
oh, sweet, or a 12 ounce still. But it was so I had probably 3 or 4 of those. So that was a good time, because usually you get a 312 on draft. It's like you go to a bar, any decent bar in town, it's like $6, right? So at least. But so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They had to take advantage of the foreign war, the KFC, VFW, the older folk crowd that can't afford to be spending $6 on the limited income people. Took advantage of their cheap beer.
Very nice.
Today in Blues history, courtesy of the @STL Blues History Twitter account, April 13th, 2016. St. Louis Blues defeated the Chicago Blackhawks 1-0. David Backes recorded his first overtime playoff goal, and Brian Elliott recorded his first playoff shutout. This was the series that broke the Blackhawks.
Was this the goal that went off a skate? Like Backes just passed it in front?
Yeah.
That's what I
think.
thought.
I think it went off a defenseman skate, I believe.
I think it went off Seabrook.
Seabrook,
But I could be wrong.
But yeah, in this series, the Blackhawks have not won a single playoff game since Game 6 of that series, which was April 23rd, 2016. They were in the playoffs. I think the following year, got swept by Nashville. So,
well, they went in 20 and won a game.
Did they?
Yeah, they won the play-in
that didn't
round.
count. That didn't count.
Yeah, but then I'm pretty sure they won one game in the first round too.
I'm not counting the bubble.
Okay. Yeah. Blues fans don't like to.
Not counting the bubble. Not counting the bubble.
Yeah,
that's right. And you're right. I do remember that. I do remember that caveat. It didn't count. Come on, let's be honest. They shouldn't have been in.
Kings are trying to make a game of this.
4-2.
Let's see. So they lost to Vegas 4-1 in the first round of that series.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. April 13th, 1972. Phil Roberto scored a goal and added 2 assists to lead the Blues to a 4-2 win over the Minnesota North Stars in St. Louis in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup quarterfinals. It's interesting, this season being longer, right? So it's like you see these Day in Blues histories and their playoff moments, right?
Yep.
It's kind of weird. I had to do a double take. I was like, a playoff? Why is it a play? Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going long this season. Forgot. Keep forgetting that.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw an NHL, this day in history, and tonight was the last game of the Hartford Whalers before they moved to Carolina. So 1997, 25 years ago.
Wow. Man, doesn't seem that long ago. We're going to talk about some Tarasenko rumors that have kind of cropped up as far as what he wants to be doing, and how we were at 4 hands for the 4th win versus Minnesota. Bill was at the Islanders game the following night, and the big win over the Bruins. We'll talk about that and some more stuff after this word from ID Life.
It's springtime, and I know in my house, it's such a good feeling to open up the windows and let the breeze roll in for new life in my home. Your body's no different. Detoxifying your body can reduce any inflammation, purify your blood, help with weight loss, improve sleep, and boost your circulation. Don't just go after those detoxifiers that only focus on the gut and bowel, though. If you're going to do it for real. The all-new Detox Box from RockinThatIDLife.com cleans all your systems, flushing your kidneys and bowels, detoxifying your liver, and restoring your microbiome for full homeostasis. You'll feel re-energized, restored, and renewed. Make your order now and receive a free detox water bottle with your order. Visit rockinthatidlife.com or email Dustin at rockinthatidlife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you to receive an additional 10% off your order. That's rockinthatidlife.com and give your body that much-needed spring cleaning today.
Have you guys heard the rumor about Tarasenko and how his mind may have changed about where he wanted to go?
I've been seeing it, and I know what you're about to allude to, that it's kind of been unconfirmed, right?
Right.
I mean, I've just been seeing people talk about it, and I'm like, okay, where is this information coming from?
Well, Jamie Rivers talked about it today on 101.1 radio in St. Louis, and it was mentioned by Korak or somebody, not like it was official or anything, but and then I heard other people talking like it was a done deal, like he was staying, like just fans, and I was like, where is this coming from? And is it just like something that somebody murmured about? Like he said he knows somebody who knows somebody who knows Tarasenko said he's decided he wants to stay in St. Louis, because Jamie Rivers talked about it kind of at length. I don't know if it was on the Last Minute Blues podcast, and I think or whatever it was on 101. But whoever the host was with Jamie said, he hadn't heard this before, and he was like, "Oh, this is a big deal. You're breaking this, Jamie." And then Jamie Rivers kind of backtracked from it a little bit about the officialness of it. He said, well, he's not sure if he's just talking about this season or what. And I'm like, well, what the hell does that mean? Of course he's going to be here this season.
The trade deadline's coming gone, Jamie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was going to say they could trade him. It just means he wouldn't be able to play.
Yeah, that'd be silly. But
trade me right fucking now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, the only thing that I've seen that I can think of is Doug Armstrong at the trade deadline. Somebody asked him, I think it might have been Rutherford asked, did you try to move Vladdy? Did you try to move Tarasenko? And he said, oh, all those rumors and all that all died away when the season started. Like, that was the last official thing that I've heard. But that was Armstrong talking. Like, once the season started, I stopped worrying about that, is how I actually read what he was saying. And I know Tarasenko, they asked him earlier in the season when he had a nice game and the Blues fans were chanting his name. I think it was in like November or December. Rutherford still asked him after the game, do you still want to be traded away? And he said yes.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard anything since then from Tarasenko about the trade rumors.
Right. And that was a little while back where he said that.
That was a while ago. Yes.
And I think the reporters are probably a little hesitant to keep asking him about it, because
at this point he's not going to give you an answer. At this point, he's just going to say, I'm focused on playoffs. I'm here for what we're going to do this year, blah, blah, blah. He's not going to give you an answer now.
All he has to say is, I want to stay in St. Louis. That's my I don't know. I don't think he has to really commit to whatever. He could. I get why he wouldn't say anything, but I guess we'll find out more in the offseason as far as what his
I still think we're
going
to see a possible move this offseason.
If he wants to stay, I think he stays. I don't think there's any question.
We'll see.
Because with one more year on his contract, I think the Rivers was saying he wants to stay in St. Louis. He wants to try and win a cup here, another cup here. So, I mean, if that's the case, then he's here next year, and maybe they talk extension. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
But I thought it was funny how some fans were taking that info as a done deal, and Rivers was talking on the radio like it was a done deal, and then he backed off of it a little bit. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm not until I hear it from straight from the horse's mouth. I'm not going to speculate and say oh yeah, he's probably happy now. He's probably going to stay. The way that I'm going into next offseason, no matter how they do this postseason, is I think he's still going to get moved because I think he still wants to be traded because we haven't heard otherwise directly from him.
Rivers has been dead wrong about stuff before. About
Yeah,
rumors
like they
and
had
things.
to trade him right away.
Yeah, well, but not just with Tarasenko, with other stuff. So it's like, I don't think he's in the know with that. I don't think he has. I mean, if he has contacts, he's not using them for rumors and info. Because he doesn't really. I mean, his deal is knowing the game and knowing the locker room, what goes on in the locker room and stuff like that. That's his insight into his podcast and his radio show and stuff. But
and I think he's been great as a color commentator.
I think he's done a good job. I think they gave him a lot of leeway with breaking down plays and stuff and situations and how the team is going to play certain situations. And he had the whiteboard for that or the screen for that, which was pretty cool. But yeah, but as far as like rumors and who's going to do what and what's going to happen in the future, I don't think he hasn't shown that he has anything as far as that's concerned.
Which is fine.
Right? No,
I'm just not.
Right, but he puts stuff out there once in a while.
I was gonna say that, and that's where you go to a Strickland or even a Rutherford. You don't go to a Rivers. I don't feel like he has the contacts or the wherewithal to ask the right questions in a sense like that. In terms of, like you said, gameplay, he's your guy. He knows his shit.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he. He's not the insider type commentator.
That's how he approaches it. I don't think.
Which is fine. I mean, Peng's not either, and he doesn't try to be. So that's kind of the key.
And they talk to the players, before the game and whatnot to go down there to get insight as far as what's going on as far as like on ice stuff goes. But yeah, off ice stuff, I don't think. And even Peng, Kelly, they don't get any of that stuff. They don't. I mean, they don't know either. So they don't get that.
Right.
That's not their job.
And I think a key difference between Peng and Rivers is that Peng would have stayed a million miles away from that question to begin with. He wouldn't have gotten into that to get pressed to to start making comments that he might have to walk back.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean you're right. In St. Louis, their leaks don't happen, right? Armstrong, like that came out. Armstrong wanted that information public when Tarasenko wanted it gone. And, it's not important at this juncture, right? We're past the trade deadline. Nothing can happen the rest of the season. And right now, Vladimir Tarasenko is playing perhaps the best hockey of his, of the last 4 or 5 years. So let's just focus on that, shall we?
Yeah. It's been fantastic, especially as the season's gone on. He's just gotten better and better and better. And he started off great.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been that good. We were at the Four Hands Brewery for the 4-3 win versus Minnesota on Friday. Fun atmosphere there upstairs. Met some listeners in the show up there. Handed out a number of stickers. There was a guy from Roosevelt.
Kurt got a great shirt.
Yeah, and I told the guy, I'd mention on the show, and he from the Roosevelts. It's a Sandlot shirt. Sandlot tropical shirt with a Sandlot montage thing on it.
I got one too, but unfortunately I don't have it on me. But yeah, it's the fireworks scene when they're all sitting on 4th of July and watching the fireworks. Like, those are some cool shirts, man. Those are great.
A little stretchy too. I like it.
Yeah.
So the Roosevelt shirt, and he was out there just giving up shirts and stickers and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
RSVLT.com, is that the website?
I believe so. I can look it up. RSVLT. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's right.
RSVLTS.com. Yeah, Roosevelt's clothing.
Yeah.
Right, because nobody wants to buy a vowel.
Right.
And that URL was probably available.
I mean, they got Back to the Future shirts. They've got Goonies, SpongeBob. They got some cool stuff.
And the Sandlot is on there.
Yeah, the shirt the guy was wearing was pretty sweet. It was Major League. The baseball with the mohawk. That was pretty nice.
The Sandlot, Rick and Morty, SpongeBob,
the Guardians,
the Goonies, Rick and Morty. Yeah, all this bunch of themed shirts and stuff. Pretty cool. Fun.
No,
shirts.
we had, guys. I'll admit, and I think I even said this last week. We talked about going to Center Ice last year. Just the three of us. I had a great time last Friday. That was one of my favorite times I've had going out in a while since the pandemic. So
And
it
it was
was
a
great.
great game too.
Great
Yeah.
fucking, and that added to it, man. What
Great
a
game.
great fucking game.
Uh,
Whew.
Yeah, nail biting into the third, and Braden Shen puts the team on his back, and
fantastic
it
move out of the
was-
corner. Yeah,
Yeah, that
Kurt had some
that
blue
was,
lights on.
I did.
Yeah.
My light up blue glasses on. Yeah.
Right.
I got a lot of
There's a
love.
joke in there about blue blockers, but I haven't figured it out yet.
I said that on Friday. I think there's a blue blocker joke in there somewhere, but
Yeah.
I haven't bothered to come up with one.
Yeah. Yeah. All I
No,
know
we-
is that when the Blues, when Shen scored that goal, like
Oh.
I haven't had, like, so the last time I had that kind of experience, like I just stood up on the bar rail, hand in the air, like Bender at the end of the Breakfast Club, right? And just pumping my fist. And the last time I had that experience was the Kakaniemi goal that sunk the Maple Leafs
At center ice.
At center ice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was, brought back some really good memories, and but I think
We've
there's
had
a lot
some
more
good
to come
times
with this.
watching games together.
Yeah.
I was. It was just fun being around. I mean, obviously the place was packed with Blues fans, people high fiving. Shen scores that goal, and then Robert Thomas. I mean, I know I tweeted he made that awful pass right in the middle.
Yeah.
It led to a wild goal, and I said, bench his ass, get him out of here. I don't care who you are. You can't do that shit. And then Robert Thomas goes in overtime and scores the winner. So, again, this is why Coach Ponder does not coach in the NHL.
You need a little more. You need a little more depth to your coaching. Coaching.
No, I have no
punishments.
No, and that's it. I have
if someone
no
messes
depth.
up,
It is.
It's like
It is literally, you fuck up once, you're sitting. I don't care. I don't care how good you are. Did you score 4 goals before that? I don't care. You're sitting.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
And Bill was at the 6-1 win the following night versus the Islanders. Bill saw a good one.
Oh, I saw a
That was a
great
great
one.
game.
Oh, I have so many great stories that I can't tell tonight. It's yeah.
No, that was a hell of a game. They really gave it to Varlamov in that game.
And a team that was hot. The Islanders had been playing very well lately.
Yeah. And we all knew Bennington was going to get the start, and everybody's was clenched a little bit going into the game. And I'll tell you what, just that save that he makes in the first period, game's still scoreless, and Islanders get the point blank chance in front, pad save. It's like he's got it. He's in the zone, and he played so well the rest of the night.
Yeah, he had a great game. Goaltending's been great lately.
Yeah. So, I'm hoping he gets to start tomorrow night in Buffalo, because he needs. I will agree. For the people that were all about, well, when's he going to get to play? When's he going to get it in there again? I think tomorrow night he needs to be in there.
I'll give credit to Blues fans too. I didn't see a lot of, okay, Bennington's got it back. Let's get him back get him some more starts, get him ready for playoffs now. I didn't see a lot of that. So
no,
yeah, most of what I saw was just like, man, he played great tonight. Good game, Bennington, and that's exactly what we need right now, because he is your backup at this point.
Yep. And there was the big win over the Bruins Tuesday night. After missing a few weeks, it was the return of Torey Krug, who hadn't played since March 22nd, and it was also his birthday on Tuesday. Played his first 9 seasons in the NHL with Boston before signing a 7-year deal with St. Louis. Husso was in net again against Boston. Just 34 seconds into this game, before he could even sit down, even at home, Perron scores his Krug pass to Saad, coming on the zone. Saad's one-touch pass was supposed to go to cross ring to Perron, whiffed on it. Luckily, hits open ice up on left wing, where O'Reilly sweeps in, comes into him with Perron, gives him the perfect pass across, and Perron buries it.
Yeah, well, and the movie made on Swayman, which I think it's been understated how good Swayman has been because he's still technically a rookie, right?
He was really good in
Right.
this game. He was good in this game.
He's
Right.
great in this game. He's had a great season. Did not deserve to be demoted when Rask came back, but it was just a numbers thing.
Plus, it's Rask.
Yeah, yes, I mean it's right. You got to give Rask a chance, right? But anyway, no, I thought that this goal, I mean, was beautiful. And, I think I might have mentioned this on the show, but I have a friend who once said to me that they love the way Brandon Saad plays. He's like the ultimate men's league player because he doesn't do any one thing particularly great. He just somehow always makes the right play.
Well, he messed up this
and
play, but it worked out.
And that's what I'm saying. Is like in this play, he's trying to tip it across, and he just whiffs, and it ends up going right where it needs to go. And it's just like, did not intentionally do that at all, but he made the right play somehow. Like it just happened.
It happened to work out. Yeah.
Yep.
And then just 15 seconds later, Bergeron ties the game. So that's like, well, shit. Quick bang play out of the corner to Bergeron in the high slot. I thought the Blues had decent coverage here. Thomas was a bit soft and low on his coverage on Bergeron. He's probably got to get more stick on puck. I'm not sure. He was probably kind of deep, but that's nitpicky, I guess. Tough play, so quick develop. Nice play by Boston.
Who was the who made the pass from behind the net? That was a good heads up play by whoever that was.
Close the window. Why would I do that?
Yeah, I've drawn a blank on who that was, but I want to say it was the rookie. Could be wrong, but anyway, no, on this play I agree. It's something we've kind of talked about a lot in this season is Robert Thomas. As elite as he's been offensively,
Marchand. It's Marchand.
Oh, it's Marchand. That's right.
Yep.
Okay.
And Marchand had a hell of a game.
He did.
Oh, I want to talk about Marchand in a second because I watched the Bruins broadcast last night. Oh my God, they are literally the worst in the league.
Oh, terrible.
But anyway, on this play, yeah, I think Robert Thomas. We've kind of talked about a little bit his defensive ability. I'd say, man, this summer, watch some Patrice Bergeron tape. Like, watch how he plays the game because that's what the Blues are not saying he needs to be an elite defensive center, but there are just some times where it's just like, if you did this a little differently, they don't score. They don't get a scoring chance. And as a center, you have to be more responsible. And I'm not pinning this completely on him. That was, like you said, great play by the Bruins, but it's just little things in his game defensively. If they get an uptick and improve, he's your new Ryan O'Reilly. He's a guy that you can stick out there in big situations defensively and rely on him because he's got the speed and he's got the smarts. He just needs to pick it up a little bit defensively.
He was just a little opposition. It was a few feet opposition.
Yeah.
If he's a couple feet closer to Bergeron, he can reach out with his stick and he can get stick on puck when the shot's being taken. He didn't do it. He couldn't get there. So it's like, and he's caught in between, so he tries to block it, just stand there, and he didn't. So, it's still. It's younger players, right? Defensive responsibilities come slower, so it's just growing pains with younger players.
So before we move on, I do want to mention the thing about Marchand. Oh my God, I lost my mind. So I don't remember exactly who it was. I think it was Kyrou was coming out with the puck. Marchand trips him, coming out of the zone, and then he gets up and he ends up, I think, getting into it with Tarasenko. Maybe I don't remember if it was Tarasenko or not, but somebody ends up just kind of shoving Marchand to the boards and basically saying, like, knock it off, like, go to the penalty box and shut up. And the officials are like, or I'm not the officials, I'm sorry, Jack Edwards of the Bruins and whoever his color analyst is. They just go, it's open season on Brad Marchand. Apparently he's the only one getting a penalty here. Do you hear that, NHL? Just go after him. The officials are let you because they're not going to call you on anything. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? He tripped a player. Like, he didn't get a penalty for, like, roughing a guy. It was a hockey play where he tripped somebody, and all the Blues did was like kind of shove him to the side and say, "Get the fuck out of here, you little pest," and that somehow that's supposed to be a penalty. Like, oh God, those announcers are the fucking worst.
And that says something because Colorado's announcers exist.
Yes. Boston's are worse. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Which I don't know if we plan on talking about the reverse hit by Tarasenko on Frederick. That was another one where you guys have got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
They're so bad.
See, I didn't hear Boston's broadcast. I would love to have listened to it during that that play.
Right. I think one night. Yeah, I think one night I set up parental controls for like two things: Fox News and Jack Edwards as a broadcaster. So, yeah, he's god awful.
Yep.
And Andy Brickley is his partner. I was gonna say.
That's right.
I was gonna say it's former U.S. Senator, presidential candidate, and Secretary of State John Kerry, but no, they're different people.
Andy Brickley, and this is just a total me hating on Boston thing. It doesn't help that guy has a thick Boston accent. So like when you hear him calling games, it's like, shut up, Bostonian. What the fuck do you know?
Yeah. So I watched after the game was over last night. I had NHL Network on, and it was the first time I was trying to figure out who it was because it was that thick Bostonian accent, and it turned out to be Mike Motto. Former Bruin, former BU Terrier, and he was actually his analysis is great, but so hard to get past that accent. Just no, thank you.
Was it Mike Motto that got the that had people paying his fine for him?
I don't remember the name. That was a long time ago.
Might have been.
I'll look. I'm gonna try to look that up because I can't remember.
You like Bill's new outfit?
Yeah, there you go. He looks great.
All right. Sorry, Bill.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
McLaughlin scored with 3 minutes to go in the first to give Boston a 2-1 lead. And the goal that was taken away from the Blues, that was after this, correct? It would have tied it at 2. Is that right? I'm trying to remember the sequence here.
I'm sorry. I'm looking up it was Andrew Ference, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically fans left him money because he flipped off the Canadiens fans.
Right. And it was a rivalry. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, a pass from behind the net.
Yeah. Please continue. Sorry.
You sure?
No, I was trying to get. I don't know what's going on.
McLaughlin scored with 3 minutes to go in the first to get Boston the lead. So the pass came from behind the net to McLaughlin in the slot. Let's quick shot go to that sneaked by Husso. This was I think Rutherford. Was it Rutherford or Korak? Kind of got on Kyrou for this because Kyrou is pointing at McLaughlin for Schenn to take him and lets him go. And because Kyrou is kind of covering the point man, and McLaughlin's kind of in that soft spot between the defense and the forwards that we talked about before on the show. And Schenn was covering somebody else, didn't have him, and Kyrou let him go, and he's wide open, and he shoots and he scores. And I think Kyrou looks bad in this play because he just lets him go when he scores. Whether or not he was right in that, it's just either lack of communication between Kyrou and Schenn. Someone's got to take him. So I mean, you could blame either one of them, I guess, but someone needs to pick him up. Either way, he was left alone.
Okay, we have our comment of the show.
Oh, I was going to say.
Sorry, I'll read comment of the show, and then yes, please continue.
Okay.
Jesse Hill on Facebook. Edwards is the IPA of broadcasters.
He's the extra special bitter.
Yeah.
ESB.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bill. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's not focus on if it was Kyrie or Shen who missed their assignment. Just happy for Dan McLaughlin, after all these years to get his first NHL goal.
Yeah, I mean, and he's gone
Cardinals
through
broadcaster, right?
Yeah, he's
Right.
he's gone through some tough times. He's gotten gone through some weight changes and
DUIs and
the ire of fans.
Yeah. He does a good job.
No, he does.
He does. I've really
Uh-oh.
there come being several years of watching Cardinals baseball off. I've started to like him. So
yeah, and he's an advocate for Blues hockey too.
Oh,
if
he
you
is.
watch the Cardinals broadcast, he talks about the Blues all the time, which I
Well,
love.
Yep.
you youngin fans out there, McLaughlin used to do broadcast work for the Blues during games. He used to
right. He was
a ringside reporter. Yeah. Ringside reporter. And did some
Until
work
he got
earlier
his
this
start.
season too. To fill
Yep.
in for
Yep.
I think it was Pat,
Yeah.
right?
No, he did it while
that's
they were transitioning from
That's right.
Weston to
That's right.
Alexa Dad.
To Dad.
That's right. He was in studio.
Yeah.
So the Blues trailed 2-1 going into the second period, and for the first half of this period, at least probably first 12 minutes, Boston was all over them. Boston had this period. You're just waiting for them to score because they were just coming, and they had a power play or two, couldn't score. But
They had some chances though.
Yes, they did.
I think it was the second power play. I felt like I don't think the Blues. I think they maybe cleared it once,
and
it was just like they just kept coming.
And there was a shift where the Blues were pinned in and they couldn't get out, and it was the whole line over 2 minutes had a straight shift. 2 minutes.
Parayko, I know, was out for almost 2.5 minutes.
The whole line was over 2 minutes. Yeah, it was bad considering a shift is normally 30, 45 seconds for forwards anyway. And that was for 2 minutes. That's ridiculous. Anyway, until Boston owned the second period, until Frederick decided he wanted to take a stupid penalty, which I loved this. I loved everything about this. I loved the pushing and shoving and the jawing on the face-off. I loved Frederick trying to take a run at Tarasenko after the whistle and then getting put on his ass. And I loved Tarasenko taunting him when he's on the ice.
Get up.
Get up. What are you doing? Get up. And I love that Frederick got a penalty out of this. And I love that he whined going to the penalty box. He hit me. It's like, bullshit. Shut the fuck up. And then the Blues scoring in the power play, turning the entire game. And then the Blues just going on, and they scored the next two after this and won the game.
And Bruce Cassidy clearly was pissed at Frederick because he didn't see the ice the rest of the night.
Nope. I think he got one shift late in the third. That was about it.
Yep. Quick note on Trent Frederick. Did you guys know that Trent Frederick, his parents, are the Frederick Roofing people?
Yeah.
Because he's a St. Louis boy.
I thought that was a joke. Is that true?
No, that's real.
No, it's true.
Yeah, I thought they were joking. That's funny.
No.
Okay.
I learned that today. I had no idea.
I was wondering why they were giving Frederick Roofing free advertising. They were talking about that so much. I'm like, why are you doing that? Okay, that's cool. That's funny.
No, a lot. Yeah, I caught a lot of the radio broadcast last night, and Curbs was all over it, and Joey Vitale as well. So,
they're a radio sponsor, I believe, right?
Right.
It's easy to promote them. Then talk about them.
Yeah.
In
this, so the Bruins side of the broadcast on this. So
yeah, whatever.
If you haven't seen this for whatever reason, if you've been living under a rock, I mean, just go on social media. It's all over the place. Blues fans, Blues site, even the Blues Twitter, the official Blues Twitter posted this and was like, "You love to see it," or whatever they said. Just a fun moment for Blues fans. But yeah, again on the Bruins broadcast, it was Frederick goes in to hit him. He goes down. There was a skirmish. Frederick ends up, doesn't he end up ripping Tarasenko's helmet off?
Oh, after he gets up, yeah, he goes after him against the boards, yeah.
And so, that
was Parayko's helmet. That was Parayko's helmet.
That was Parayko, yeah. And so, all that happens, and then the referee, skates over to the box, and I guess it was Andy Brickley he goes, looks like the Bruins are the only one getting a penalty here. And Jack Edwards goes, really? Huh? And then like the referee makes the call, guy goes into the bio, Fredericks is bitching, and Brickley's like, and he's complaining about it, and rightfully so. How is the Bruins the only ones getting a penalty on this play? And then, of course, like after the Blues score on the power play, it's, well, you saw that coming after that call. And I'm just like, do you guys seriously not watch hockey? Do you not understand what just happened? The Blues did not, and I hate to say this because it sounds like such a homer thing to say. What did the Blues do wrong on that play?
Yeah, what did you expect?
Tarasenko defended himself.
What's Tarasenko supposed to do? Frederick takes a run at him. He stands his ground, and he doesn't even do anything dirty. He just goes shoulder to shoulder with him, and he puts him on his ass.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think earlier in the season, Tarasenko probably gets an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for the taunting. But the fact that, we're in the stretch run, people are geared up for the playoffs, and he taunts Frederick and Frederick bites. It's like, that's rookie mistake. And the refs are going to call that. And
I loved it.
I thought it was, God, that top 5 moment of the season so far.
I loved every second because I'm watching. My daughter, of course, she was in the bathroom when the Blues scored. She was in the bathroom, finishing her shower, and because the Blues always score when she's in there, and so I rewound it and I showed her what happened with the lineup. So lining up for the face-off, Frederick is like way offside. He's like 2-3 feet offside, and I'm like, what the hell? Get over! And he's bumping, pushing, and Tarasenko's standing like, what the hell are you doing? And the official comes over and pushes Frederick back onside. And what does Frederick do? As soon as the official leaves, goes right back to where he was. He's way offside. I'm like, yeah, why do we even have a line there? What? He's way offside. And then you knew it was coming because they bumped off the face off, and then he goes after him later after the whistle. And I just loved it. I said, I think I tweeted a week ago that I'd love to see more of this stuff. This isn't dirty stuff. This is just bitterness between two teams, creating some animosity on the ice, creating more of a rivalry if there's not enough of one already. There's just stuff going on to make you as a fan kind of get you more engaged and more enraged in a way, upset, yelling at the TV kind of a thing at the other team. So kind of like I did when I was a kid, Blues and Blackhawks, when Dirk Graham and Larmer were taking liberties and Chelios. I'm just this kind of a thing. I love this stuff, this sideshow stuff that makes the game that much more fun to me.
And Jesse Hill in the Facebook chat agrees with you, says hatred in sports is good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny because I was actually just thinking this watching the game last night, just laughing about the Tarasenko Frederick situation and other things that were happening. My mom used to tell my dad and I that she hated watching hockey. She actually really likes hockey, but she hated watching it with us because we got so into it. And we would just scream and yell and F this and, this is fucking stupid. And so she's just like, I hate watching it with you guys. And she never would watch hockey with us. The only time she did was when she went to games with us. And I think now there's so much less of that. There's not as much hatred. The rivalries just aren't what they used to be. I'm like, man, if I would have grown up in this time frame, I think my mom would be as into hockey as me and my dad were, because there's not that standing up and yelling at the TV like there used to be. So maybe I'm wrong, but it does feel a lot different than when I was growing up.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I think this is the kind of thing that makes hockey, right? If this happens in basketball, well, you had it in basketball to some degree back in the day with the Pistons and the Pacers and the Knicks and the Bulls, and they all hated each other.
I hated Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
He was my least favorite player.
Oh, and John Starks and Lambier and with the Pistons.
Bill Lambier.
Yeah.
Oh my God. At 92-93 was it? Pistons and Bulls. Oh my God.
Nasty.
Guys, this might be the most basketball we have ever talked on the show.
Yeah, I hate
Well,
the
that was
NBA
the
now.
only-
I used to love it back
Yep,
then.
me
was
too.
the
I was
only-
a big Bulls fan.
Yeah, that was the only time I actually cared about the NBA.
It was fun though, to
during
me.
that era.
Yeah, to
It
me
was.
now it's gotten stupid. That's just me. I'm not. If you love the NBA,
Well-
that's great. I personally, it's
Right.
not my thing anymore.
And for me, it's hard to care when, well, for one, we've never had a team in our lifetime here in St. Louis, right? The older people, my grandpa was a huge basketball guy. Had season tickets to the Billikens because he was such a big basketball guy from the time the Hawks were here. But we haven't had a basketball team in our lifetime, and basketball kind of ruined the Blues in the middle of the 2000s.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Bill Laurie didn't
It's
get
true.
his team, and we lost Chris Pronger because he wanted to bring the Grizzlies here and couldn't. So, still a little bitter about that, as you can tell.
Well, for anyone who's listening who maybe didn't receive this alert, apparently we have a child abduction. Are you guys getting this? Amber Alert.
No,
Ferguson, Missouri, black
we're in
Chrysler
Illinois.
car,
so-
no plate. 33-year-old black male. So anyone who might be listening that's out on the roads, you see that, call your local authorities.
There was one last night when I was over on that side of the river. It was like a red Dodge, no plates. I think I see a theme here.
No plates.
Yeah. Yep. Look out.
Somebody who's going to abduct a child is going to break the law. What?
It's funny because it reminds me of when my father-in-law, back when I was just dating my wife, I was complaining about this one guy that I was driving behind on Natural Bridge and how he didn't have plates. But I'm like, it drove me fucking crazy because he was going 20 miles an hour and I couldn't get around him. And my father-in-law, who's a lawyer, his comment back was, well, he's already breaking the law by having no plates. So he's got to make sure he doesn't break the law again. That's how you don't get caught. You can't break the law twice in a row. So he's not going to speed. And I'm like, that's pretty smart. That's a good point. If you're already breaking the law, don't do it again.
So on this
Don't
power
compound
play, let's get back to the game.
Oh, wait, we're talking about a Blues game.
Right.
What are we
right.
talking about?
The Frederick penalty. The stupid
that guy.
stupid ass decision that turned the game. Selfish, dumb thing. The Bruins are killing the Blues. He didn't have to do this. The Bruins are owning the Blues at this point. I mean, they're winning the game. They're owning the second period. It just seems like a matter of time before they score again. And he goes and does something stupid, takes a penalty, and Krug scores on the power play with about 5 minutes to go in the second. In his return to Boston. Real nice goal, cut between two Bruins, worked in to the slot. Lashako and beat Swayman under his blocker arm. And just like that, boom, tide turned. And McLaughlin, let's see, where am I? Lost my place. Tarasenko, of all people, scored with less than 2 minutes to go. So about 3 minutes later.
Well, yeah. Well, hang on. Let's talk about the Krug goal real quick. That was my favorite goal of his as a Blue. I thought that was just a heads up, smart play to look up, realize, even though he's the last guy back, and like you said, Bruins before this penalty were charging, he still had the wherewithal to say, I can cut across this guy, cut in the middle, take the shot. Just a beauty goal by him. And I'll add real quick, something I bitch about Bruins broadcast. I'll give them credit for one thing. When they gave his tribute video, they went to one commercial, and then they brought it back to the broadcast. And they said, we're about to see the tribute video here for Torey Krug. Let's see what they have. I'm guessing you guys didn't see that in the St. Louis broadcast.
Nope.
He got a great applause for it, which was awesome. Standing applause, standing ovation, players tapping their sticks on the ice. He even came on the ice and twirled around, put his stick in the air. And I thought that was really cool to see. But then he scores this goal and he gets booed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just beautiful.
And I think, before we get into the goal, I'll also add, don't forget that the called off goal right? The
Right, which-
offside review, which Krug was a catalyst. It may have been Buchnevich. I don't know. They never came to something conclusive that I could gather from the radio broadcast. So
I think it was Thomas, actually.
Thomas was offside, yeah.
Yeah, it was Thomas. He skated in with Krug, but both his skates were across the blue line, unfortunately.
His upper
Right.
body was not across the line, but both of his skates were.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And it's the skates
But
that
then,
matter.
did the puck maybe go off Buchnevich before it went into the net, or was that going to be Krug's goal?
It went off Buchnevich. He was in pain. It hit him in the ankle. I thought that was interesting, that the broadcast crew wasn't sure. And I'm like, well, why is he wincing in pain? The shot went off his ankle and in the goal. Unless he didn't get slashed right on the play. So,
well, and isn't that just insult to injury? Literally, like
yeah.
you take the pain in front of the net. Oh fuck, that hurt. Oh, by the way, that goal doesn't count. Like, God damn it! Like literally, that play never happened, but you got hurt somehow.
Right. So after Krug scored, the tide was turned. Blues have momentum. Tarasenko scored less than 2 minutes to go in the second to give the Blues the lead going into the third. Real nice zone entry by the Blues. Didn't even bother to set up in the zone. They attack the net. Buchnevich flips a pass to Thomas after entering the zone, and quickly had a 2-on-1. Kind of behind the pass was behind Thomas a bit, kind of spun between the leg pass to Tarasenko. Pass was behind him a little bit. He spins, grabs, turns, wheels, fires, and beats Swayman. So a nice no dust off by Tarasenko.
Yeah.
One motion shot here. That's
right.
was the big difference. I think it surprised Swayman, to be honest.
For sure. And pinpoint accuracy going inside the post. I'm not a big Mike Rupp fan. Wasn't a big fan of him, from back in the TJ Oshie concussion towards the end of the season, a couple of years back in the playoffs. And not a huge fan of him as an analyst on NHL Network, but man, he gave Tarasenko all the credit in the world. Said every one of us would have dusted that off, adjusted, and tried to make a shot, and Swayman makes the save. And Tarasenko just spun, shot, picked his spot, hit it. Mm-hmm. And thought that was spot on.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. I was going to talk about Thomas. So if you have something to add about Tarasenko, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that he really doesn't. He's been criticized. If you're going to criticize Tarasenko, it's that sometimes his shot, he takes too long to get it off by dusting the puck off. He has a very, very good wrist shot, but you'd love to see him get it off quicker, right? And not dusting it off as much as he does. But
anyway. And last night, both of his goals, no dust off.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we've seen that a lot this season.
More of it,
which is why we've seen his numbers go up in goals from last year, because he's actually shooting the puck. Like the minute he gets it, he's rifling it.
More one-timers too.
And it seems like it's something he probably worked on, because maybe he realized, like, okay, I'm not getting the time and space that I used to, whether it's injury or whatever that's causing that. I need to be able to one-time the puck more. And that's going to make me be able to be more of an elite sniper. And, he's not a 40, 50 goal guy, but, you consistently score 30 goals in the NHL nowadays. That's a pretty damn good pace to keep up. And so I'll add with Thomas, and I know I kind of criticized him a little bit defensively. I'm not criticizing him at all when I say this. I just want to say I actually thought it was kind of funny. I think that pass from Buchnevich, if Thomas doesn't touch it, I think it's right on the tape to Tarasenko. But it was one of those that I think Thomas felt like, and I totally get it. In the moment, I got to fucking make sure this gets over to my other guy. And the pirouette, basically, that he did to do that one-touch pass over to Tarasenko, yes, it was behind Tarasenko. That was just fucking beautiful. Whether it was necessary or not, like I said, I think if he jumps and it doesn't hit him in the skates, it goes right to Tarasenko's tape. But he made the right play still. He still said, I need to tip this over to my guy. And just a beautiful, beautiful play all around by all three of that line to execute that goal. Just pretty stuff.
I just watched it. I think if he doesn't touch it, I think the Boston defense gets it easily.
Yeah,
they're in position to get
so?
it. Yeah, oh yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it gets broken up.
Unless he totally goes after Thomas and ignores the puck. That's the only way.
Which Tarasenko did wind up wide open, so that could have been a thing.
Maybe.
But
you never know.
All right, so I think I might have to go back to this the over/under on the Colorado goals tonight because
Yeah,
8
good
now.
Lord.
Good God.
yeah, that was a hell of a goal by Nichushkin right there.
Every time I look up, there's
Nichushkin
another goal
with
for Colorado.
21 goals this year. Whew. Dallas is kicking themselves right now.
Yep. They let him go and thought Dennis Gurianov was going to be the guy. Oops.
The Blues had this 3-2 lead going into the third. Tarasenko got his second of the game off a 3-on-1 with Bushnevich, Thomas, and Tarasenko. Bushnevich passes the puck back and forth. Tarasenko finished it off with a one-timer as Swayman couldn't get across. Thomas had to get out of the way of this. It was almost like he wasn't needed on this play. He's a distraction. Almost got in the way of the shot, but perfectly executed play. Again, we talked about the one-timer from Tarasenko. And it's fitting, I think, that Tarasenko got 2 goals after the whole incident with Frederick.
Yes.
A pissed off Tarasenko is a Tarasenko I love to watch play.
Mm-hmm.
So
that same thing happened in that Edmonton game right at the end of December. I don't know if you guys remember that. He got into it with Mike Smith, and then he just comes in on a tear, like literally comes off the bench. Somebody feeds him a pass, and he's just one-on-one with the goalie, and he's not missing when he's pissed off at the goalie. So it's just that's the kind of Tarasenko you want to see. And I'll add, too, our conversation earlier with him, maybe wanting to stick around. Has he had a better line than he has right now?
No.
Thomas and Bushnevich?
What's his best line before this that he's been on? Obviously he had some success there with Laterra. I don't even remember who was on the left wing of that line. Yeah, his
no, he was.
Year,
no,
was it Schwartz, Laterra, and Tarasenko? I think
it might have been. Yeah,
that was way more dynamic.
And a stick tap to Philly for taking Laterra too, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Ron Hextall.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So the Blues are rolling. 6 straight wins, 8-0-1 in their past 9 after winning this one 4-2. Next up for St. Louis, Thursday night versus Buffalo. And I was going to ask you guys who your thoughts and thinks in playing goal. I mean, Bill, you think Bennington's going to start? Jeff, you think?
I'd like to see Bennington go tomorrow night.
Jeff,
I think it's Husso.
Man, it's interesting. I think I wouldn't be surprised either way. I think that I understand going with Bennington. I also understand that these are big 2 points. If Minnesota's playing Dallas tomorrow night, and
right.
And if Minnesota loses, then getting those 2 points would be huge going into our game against Minnesota on Saturday. So it's such a big. Bennington should be. I think Bennington plays this game. I really do. I think after the last game against the Islanders, I think he's more apt to come back to him against a team like Buffalo, because then Husso plays again on Saturday. I think that's something that I can see happening.
Yeah, I think you start Bennington and short leash him. If he's bad early, you go to Husso. But with it being an early game Saturday, it's
that's a good point.
I think Bennington's the guy. You still have 36 hours before game time, and that's right. That should be plenty of time for anybody to recover. But after his performance against the Islanders, you don't want him sitting. You want him to get another opportunity and go out there. And if he shits the bed, then he shits the bed, and you pull him early.
Yeah, I that does factor in, I think, a bit. I didn't think about that. The early game time Saturday, 2:00 start. But I still stick. I think you go with your number one, just because it's not a back-to-back situation. It's the stretch run. You need to get these 2 points, like Kurt said. But like both you said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Bennington first off the ice in practice tomorrow.
This is I'm usually I kind of have a pretty good idea of who's going to start in goal, but really I could totally see either one. I think I'd go with Bennington, but yeah, but if Husso's the first off the ice in morning skate, I'm like, okay, good. Okay, Husso's playing.
Yep.
That's fine.
Real quick on the Boston game, got a couple comments I want to read. Matt Harris says Frederick last night was the definition of making stupid decisions gets stupid results.
Yeah.
Which agree 100%.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Talk about Andy Brickley. Matt MLO12 says too much clam chowder. It changes your voice.
You know, Boston is speaking of, while we're still talking about Boston a little bit, remember, and I think I said this on Twitter, the Boston sports talk radio the day after the Blues won the Cup, they were a shit show. It was such a whiny bitch fest. And, you know, and that's what, and it's funny because after say the Blues had lost Game 7, you wouldn't have gotten that with St. Louis sports radio. We bitch about St. Louis sports talk hockey in this town, but you wouldn't have had that here. You wouldn't have had people whining, and the broadcasters, the hosts of the shows, you wouldn't have them bitching and whining about how Boston didn't deserve to win it, mocking their goalie, criticizing all the the dirty plays. And not, the referees weren't being fair. You wouldn't have had any of that. It would have been more a criticism of the Blues as far as what they didn't do to get the job done. That would have been most of it from St. Louis. You may have had the odd occasional complaint about a bad call or whatever, but it wouldn't. Or you would have had anything like what Boston did.
The sports talk guy who hates hockey maybe tuned in for the Stanley Cup final and just said, "Wow, these Boston guys are pricks." And you would have maybe had that one or two hosts in St. Louis. Other than that, I agree 100%.
I streamed Boston Sports Talk Radio the next day because I wanted the entertainment. And there was one guy, just a piece of shit person, sports broadcaster. He was one of the things that stuck out to me that he said was, "Can you believe that Jordan effing Bennington has a Stanley Cup? How absurd is that?" And it was and he said effing literally. So I'm like, man, you are a piece of shit. You are just a bitter, whiny bitch.
Well, I hate giving this guy any credit at all for even talking. By the way, Avalanche score again. They now have 9 goals.
Is that the 9 trick with all hats going on the ice? Someone got a hat trick.
Yeah. No, McKinnon got the hat trick.
It's the
I'll tell you what,
right?
Quick got pulled real early in this one, and Cal Peterson's taking one for the team right now.
Yeah,
he looks terrible.
Yeah, he does.
Well, that keep turning the damn puck over.
Oh, that one went through him too.
Kings cannot get it out of their own zone.
That wasn't even a hard shot. It was just a reach out, fluttering slap shot, and it went through him under his glove. Ugh, jeez.
Not the kind of game you want in the stretch.
No,
it's going to do terrible things for them.
No, I was talking about Barstool guy, Barstool idiot, Stoolie Prez. When he was at Game 5 with what a trip, with Bozak, literally coming out and saying, "Blues fans, you should not accept this win."
Bullshit.
Basically, literally saying you should not be okay with this because they missed a call. And I'm like, again, have you watched sports before? This happens all the time. Yes, it sucks when it happens, but at the same time, it is part of the game. You can't tell me that Blues fans should have when that happened, turn off the game. I'm nope. Blues shouldn't win this game. This is bullshit. You're telling me the Bruins fans would have done that? Absolutely not.
Yeah. We'll talk about the battle for second place, and we'll talk about Tyson Nash on the other side of this break. from Sunrise Brewery. Do you like hockey? Of course you do. Do you like beer? Of course you do. Are you 21? Let's hope so. If you answered yes to all of those questions, run on down to your local beer distributor and pick up a 2-4 of Old Arena Lager, the Beauty IPA, or any other delicious hockey-themed beer from Sunrise Brewery. That's right, Sunrise Brewery beer is available at various beer stores around town, so check around for the one closest to you. That's Sunrise Brewery. Let's go Blues. So the Blues' 6-game win streak has consisted of a 6-4 win versus Calgary, a 5-1 win versus Arizona, a 4-1 win versus Seattle, a 5-3 win versus Minnesota, a 6-1 win versus the Islanders, and a 4-2 win versus Boston. So we'll see if they can keep that going on Thursday night versus Buffalo, and then hopefully again on Saturday against Minnesota when Jeff and I are going to be there. We will. The battle for second place is on. St. Louis and Minnesota has been on for a while. Both currently with 96 points, tied in the standings. Minnesota has the tiebreak right now. They do have a game in hand. St. Louis plays, like I said, at Buffalo on Thursday, and Minnesota's at Dallas. So that's a big night going into Saturday. Will they be tied or someone bet by 2? Rapid fire tidbits from the NHL. Tyson Nash, former Blue instigator.
Also, I'll add almost friend of the show, which I'm kind of happy to say almost.
Almost friend of the show.
He was supposed to come on, and he agreed. He was actually the first guy to agree to come on for Past the Future a couple summers ago. Yeah. But for whatever reason, I emailed him again and never heard back.
Yeah, he was too busy tanning or at his Orange Theory fitness place. So Tyson Nash is the color commentator for the Arizona Coyotes, and there's a child abduction emergency across the TV now. So the same thing that you just mentioned, Jeff. It's on my Spectrum stream. Okay, so
let's hope peaceful resolution for all involved.
Yeah. So the Tyson Nash, like I said, is the color commentator for the Arizona Coyotes and former Blue instigator. So he made some comments that were pretty controversial in the game versus the Anaheim Ducks a couple weeks ago. So Trevor Zegras scored for the Ducks a Michigan-style goal on them earlier in the game. And then later on, game was 5-0 Ducks, and Zegras poked once at a puck that was covered by the Arizona netminder after a scramble. And then Jay Beagle for Arizona came in and cross-checked Zegras from behind down to the ice. Terry, which you see, you poke a goalie, you get a shot from a defenseman or from a forward, whoever, protecting the goalie. You don't take a poke at a goalie, whatever. Now, granted, the poke that with the puck was covered with a glove and the poke came in, it wasn't anything egregious. It wasn't a vicious poke. But Jay Beagle took exception to it, came in and cross-checked Zegras down. And then Terry came in for the Coyotes to grab Beagle. As the NHL players do during a flare-up, you pair off, you grab a guy, you protect your player. And then Beagle just started throwing punches, pummeling Terry, who is not a fighter, didn't want to fight. I believe he's Arizona's leading scorer this season.
Anaheim.
Anaheim's leading scorer this season.
32 goals.
Yeah. So he's not a fighter. The fight left Terry with a gash over his left eye that required stitches, and left side of his face looked like catcher's mitt. If you've seen the picture, it looks nasty. He got him pretty good a few times.
And before you continue on, I think Bill and I kind of mentioned this. Bill, I think you agreed with me on this last week. The only flack I'll give Anaheim in this play, nothing against Trevor Zegras. Troy Terry comes in to defend his teammate. Be ready. Because it's clear Arizona's pissed off. You got a veteran who is known to defend teammates. Even if not, guy's down 5-0. He's going to do anything he can to spark his club. Be ready for a fight. It was clear Terry was coming in to stop it and then hoping, that's it. I can just skate to my bench now. doesn't matter who it is you're holding back. They're not just going to let that go. So, and I'm not, again, not trying to victim blame. Just felt that Terry was a little too defenseless when coming in to defend his teammate. But other than that, just a ridiculous play from Jay Beagle. I'll agree 100%.
So, Coyotes color commentator Tyson Nash said this on the air while this was going on, or at the end of it. That's the problem with these young players. You want to embarrass guys, you want to skill it up, you better be prepared to get punched in the mouth. Nash also said Zegras had been warned a few times during the game to knock it off. Knock what off? Don't be good.
Well, it goes back to in men's league, right? You're not supposed to do the Michigan. And
we've talked about this.
We have talked about this. And yeah. I actually agree, Kurt. Why? But as a men's league player, and I'll tell you, as a guy on the rink, if it happens against my team, it's going to piss me off.
Here's the deal, though.
I can't understand why that is.
Here's the deal, though. It's not going to piss me off unless we're losing 8-0. If it's a tight game and we get beaten by a hot dog move, it helps them win the game. That's just a skill move. That's a ballsy skill move to win a game. More power to them. It's going to piss me off that we lost more than the goal itself. But yeah, if we're getting smoked already, the showboating is kind of it's an irritant, right?
Right. It's the rubbing it in quality of it.
Right, but the Michigan goal didn't come when it was 5-0. I don't know what the score was. It was earlier in the game. But he's done it before this season. But apparently he'd been told a few times to knock it off. Well, it's like knock what off? Shut up. Right? You hit the hot dog, right? You don't complain about the hot dog. Hit him into the glass. Take him, hit him on open ice.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that's what you do. Next time you see him trying to make a move or even go behind the net, go in, put a little more force on your hit. You don't need to punch him. You don't need to take him down. You don't need to beat up his teammate. You make him think twice about going behind the net and doing a play like that. And that's hockey. That's the hockey part of it. Stop him from doing it. Play defense. Knock him off the puck. That's what you do.
Be in position to hit him when he comes around the front of the net.
And
that's the thing. He's really good at detecting when he's not going to get pressured, not going to get hit. That's part of the skill of the game.
How many times do you see a player try and go wide on a defenseman and do the little toe drag between the legs from behind and then try and curl around? That used to be a kind of a rare play a number of years ago, but you see more players do it more and more now. That's fancy shit. That's a slick move. Where's all the outrage for that? That's not your traditional backhand forehand deke. Where's the outrage for that kind of play? So anything different and extra creative is gonna cause a ruckus, which is weird to me. Knock it off. Why? Shut up.
Right. And there's a total difference between, well, maybe not the Arizona Coyotes, but most of the National Hockey League and a men's league team, that you shouldn't be surprised that somebody in the NHL who has the utmost skill is going to try a skill move, and you shouldn't try to beat that out of him because you got embarrassed because you're on a shit team that's going to play in front of maybe 5,000 people next year.
Yeah.
Just the fact that it's there. The fact that it's Arizona that's in this is like.
Side note: did you see the was it the Sundogs, the college team they're going to be sharing the rink with? Did you see their schedule?
No.
They're pretty much playing every weekend at home.
Oh,
which means the Coyotes are going to get very few home weekend games.
That's so weird.
And it's just like, how is college hockey getting precedent over the NHL? But that's the Arizona organization for you.
So Tyson Nash doubled down on his comments he was on the Cam and Strick podcast the other day, And I think it kind of blew up more so after this podcast because he's doubling and tripling down on his comments. He says, I absolutely love Zegras, Nash said. I love that he chirps. I love his swagger. I love his cockiness. But all I'm saying is, when you're going to do all that, be prepared to get punched in the mouth. And I think it's a ridiculous take that Nash keeps defending. He's saying on one hand that he loves the skill that Zegras showcases in the NHL, but that if he continues doing it, he should be ready to drop the gloves. So because Zegras is better than Beagle, he should have to answer for it. No, I don't think so.
Again,
that's absurd.
That's
It's absurd.
That's the part where I say, okay, where I say, okay, yes, physically stop him. Physically stop him. 100%. I'm with you, Tyson Nash. But the punch in the mouth part, no. If you want to stop him, deter him from doing these skilled plays like the Michigan, line him up. Hit him into the boards. Make it a legal check. Fucking go in and make him regret even going into the offensive zone. That's what you do. You don't need to drop the gloves and pummel him and his teammates. Like that. Those two things do not go together. I don't understand. Even back in the day, to me, even in Tyson Nash's playing days, like you don't need to beat a guy up for making a good skill play. You knock him on his ass. That's all you do.
I have a question. If you're up 5-0 in the third period, halfway through the third, and the pass comes from the corner to the point, Jeff, your defenseman, and you're going to take a shot on goal, how hard are you allowed to shoot it?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Blasting it every time.
but do you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're not allowed to showboat around the goal, and if you're not allowed to do a fancy move to try and score a goal, trying to beat the other team, by all means possible, why not shoot it 50% from the point if you're not trying to really score a goal, or you're not trying to
see? And that's where your running up the score arguments come in, right? Like,
right.
I hate the they're running up the score. Like there was a baseball situation I think yesterday with the Rockies, where they were saying they bunted.
Yes.
Yeah, he bunted to get on base. They're up by 9 runs or something.
9 in the 7th inning, I think.
Again, you want me to stop trying to win,
right?
Then play defense and stop me. That's what you do.
Do you know how? Did you see?
I don't care what the fucking score is.
Do you see the opposing coach? He got up on the top step and he's pointing over there and complaining about the bunt, and then his own coach goes down there and gives him a talking to. And I think what somebody said, which I guess he's if they're correct, is that his coach is going down there to say, hey, don't do that. You're going to get our guys beaned. And I understand not wanting your play to do that because of the repercussions of what that's going to do.
Right.
Not because bunting is wrong, but because of what the other team's going to do if you do bunt. And now the other team might be wrong in doing that too, but that's what's going to happen.
Right.
If you're bunting and trying to stealing bases up by 9 runs in the 7th inning, you're going to get plunked. And I'm not saying that's right. It's not, but that's what's going to happen. And that's probably why he got yelled at.
The thing that people forget too is these guys, a lot of what their payment is based on their stats. So like if a guy let's just say late in the season, he's, he needs to steal 1 more base or get on base for this on base percentage or whatever it is. And it's, well, shit, back in that game when we were up 10-1, I could have stolen a base in that game. And now I have to steal 3 in the last game of the season to get my bonus. I just think it's ridiculous. Right. You want to stop these guys from playing the game. Fucking stop them.
I agree.
Play the game. Don't bitch about it.
I agree. I agree.
And also, it's early in the season. I didn't pay attention to them. Like I said, I've become a less than casual baseball fan at this point. But there's a good chance that the guy that's putting down the bunt is early in his career and he's trying to show that
He's
he's got
rookie.
the skills.
He's a
Right?
rookie.
He's
Yeah.
got the skills. He wants to stick with the team. He's got the skills. He can pull that play off. And when's the best time to try it? It's when the other team's getting kicked in the nuts, right? That just, when you're a professional, it's entirely different. Like if that's the the work league softball, and somebody, a guy that usually hammers the ball out comes up and just chops the ball down to the ground to see if he can get on base, yeah, I'm going to be pissed off about that. But you're professionals. It's early in the season. Everybody's got money to make. I think that's a great point you make, Jeff. And
Yep.
you want to stick with the team, show that you've got all the tools to do it, go for it.
Yeah. And it's the same with every sport. I don't get, I've never understood it. We see it in college football too. A lot of people saying, coaches will bitch about, oh, they're running up the score on us. Well, play better fucking football so they don't. Like that's the deterrent. That's the defense.
In college football too, I mean, your differential could come into play, and if you make a bowl game or not too. I mean,
yeah.
So that's all that Neanderthal takes is what they are. They're just outdated thinking. Just the old school code. I'm familiar with the code. I know the code, but I mean, some of this code needs to be rewritten because it's just bad.
And I remember back when my dad, when I was a kid and my dad was, hanging out with his friends and, they're all sitting around playing poker, having beer and, and they're talking about like, oh, did you see, the Rockies run up the score the other night? Like, and the conversation then was the same thing. Well, if the other team wanted to stop them, why didn't they just play better? And it's like, why was this ever a thing that was just like, oh, well, we're up 8-0. Let's just stop playing. No, you never do that. It's professional sports. You're paid to be good at your job. So why wouldn't you?
I guess, I mean, if you're playing a team that is outclassed and just doesn't have it that night, I get the players probably not going 100% that are like killing the other team because they don't want to show them up. I think, and that's on the team that's up though. I don't think they're required to do anything, but I understand why teams might ease up a little bit and play it safe and play it easy and not try and just destroy the team and embarrass them. I understand that thinking, but no one should be required to play that way.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never understood that. And I'll admit, even in I remember back early 20s, we had a game. We were playing against kids. We were like 23, 24. They were like 18, just entering the men's league, fresh out of high school. And they showed us up pretty good. They were up like 6-7-0. And we weren't mad that they were scored a bunch of goals. We were like, well, shit, they're making us look stupid. What we were mad about was that every time they scored, they celebrated like they won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, you don't need to celebrate every damn goal. You don't need to high five the rest of your teammates. You don't need to skate down to your goalie and hug him. Like, and in this game, the Ducks weren't doing that. And in the Rockies game, or whatever the baseball team was, they weren't doing that. They weren't having big celebrations every run they scored. If they're not doing that, if they're just kind of going about their business, oh, hey, kind of quick high five or a Nux or whatever, okay. But, if they're, I get getting mad if they're over celebrating, but professional sports, I really don't think you see that.
I think we have come to the end of this show. You guys have anything else you want to add? There's a few comments, a bunch of comments on YouTube chat.
I do. I have one thing I want to add.
Yes.
For anyone who hasn't seen it, Bill, I know you saw this and we laughed about it.
Oh, that's right.
Evander Kane's ex-wife is in the news. So for those who didn't see it, Ryan Hartman and Evander Kane got into it. And, Kane, we all know, is a giant piece of shit. And Ryan Hartman, as he's getting pulled away by the officials, clear as day, flips off Kane. Not allowed by the NHL standards. He gets your maximum allowable fine or whatever it was. And today it was shown, I guess, on her, I think it was her Instagram story, Evander Kane's ex-wife Venmoed Ryan Hartman $200 to help pay his fine for flipping off Kane. I thought that was fantastic. You love to see it.
You paid Ryan Hartman $200.
Yeah,
A
and
screenshot
her
on- was it Venmo?
story. Yeah,
Yeah,
her story
it was
with it
Venmo.
was stay blessed.
Yes.
Beautiful stuff. I mean, and that's something that like I even saw Oilers fans applauding. Like, oh, good for her.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a nice little viral moment. But yeah, that was awesome. And one thing I think, I think we'd be remiss, we kind of went through the Minnesota game pretty quickly, but great to meet Dr. Nighthawk and friends in person. Want to make sure we get that shout out. But
Austin Lynch.
Austin Lynch.
Yep. Great to always hang out with him. And Carmela Soprano. That was great too.
And all the
Nice.
and the number of people that came up to the bar around the bar, and they were so excited to get free stickers from us.
Yes.
That was kind of funny.
The bartenders, they
the
love
bartenders,
getting,
they love the stickers
stuff
too.
from
They
us,
were great.
too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Putting that the mix of the stouts together, that was brilliant. Loved it.
Oh my god, that was fantastic.
I'm
That
saying
might be my starter next time I go,
yeah.
because that was good.
And when we go out and watch a game at a Four Hands or wherever, we should always hopefully have stickers on us. So we'll be handing some out if you guys are in the vicinity. Stop by and say hi.
And as long as we don't have 1,000 people show up, I'm always willing to buy listeners a beer. I know I did that I didn't buy Austin a beer, but the other three
Right, 'cause
people
that
that
would
we
be
talked
illegal.
to early in the night, it would be. I did try to buy him a Pepsi, but the bartender would not charge me. So, but yeah, it was it was a great time. Getting to meet up with everyone, and I did talk to a gentleman at the bar who said he'd heard of our show but never listened, and I was like, well, tune in this week. We'll be broadcasting on Wednesday, so if you did decide to tune in, sir, sorry I forget your name. I hope you enjoyed it.
Ken Morris in YouTube chat says, how about women's IIHF hockey? People complained Canada and USA ran up the score against other nations. I'm like, well, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, Team USA basketball, were they criticized for run up the score and with the Dream Team? They destroyed teams. They tripled their score and stuff. It was just,
and the way that you look at women's sports or women's hockey, I mean, is yes, U.S. and Canada are the elite teams, but how are these other teams going to get better? They've got to play against the best. I would even bet you that the teams like Sweden and Finland, who are trying to up their programs, are saying we want them to give us their A game, because that's the only way we're going to get better. Is we'll learn how to play them through doing that. So I'm all for it. I think, those teams, they need to play their A game against those if they want to have better competition in the future.
I guess that'll about do it. Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com and get 10% off by emailing Dustin at rockinthatidlife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. And by Center Ice Brewery, St. Louis's tasty hockey-themed beer. Check out your local beer vendors for availability. That's Center Ice Brewery beer. Please drink responsibly. That'll wrap up episode 31 of season 10 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you, which was a lot. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Kurt Price. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Do I look nervous?
Oh, nice.
Huh?
You do not.
No.
Kinda.
I do not.
Kinda.
Not really. Let's go Blues.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Sport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to #1. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight again. They're rough and tough and got the stuff to win. They'll always get one more, no matter what the score. They